Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are having a great day so far. So today's video is very excitingly sponsored by YUNIQU. So I just want to say a huge motorbike. I just want to say a huge thank you to them for partnering with me on such an exciting topic to me. You guys know I am obsessed with perfume. Perfume is like a really big love and passion of mine. I feel like I've just recently in the last few years got properly obsessed with perfumes, and I've always liked wearing perfumes. I've always been a big perfume wearer, but literally in the last couple of years I've started really getting interested in what notes I like, what scents I like, the longevity, what affects the skin scent. Is it, you know, long wearing? What is the projection like? I've started really getting involved in perfume websites, you know, just so much detail, so I can really get into the nitty-gritty of what I love about perfumes. So if you are not familiar with YUNIQU, they are a perfume subscription website. So on their website they have over 350 niche high-end luxury perfumes that are really hard to get your nose on without purchasing them. And this is something that is really a problem for me, because if you don't know me, if you've not heard me speak about where I live before, I live in the middle of nowhere. It's very hard, it's far for me to get to like any kind of real shop that sells makeup, beauty products of any description, and it's even harder for me to get somewhere that has a real decent selection of luxury and niche perfumes. I would probably have to go to London to even find half of the perfumes they have on their website, and that is a very, very long way away for me. Also, when you go perfume shopping, as much as I love going around and smelling the perfumes, you can really only smell a couple before it starts to get quite tricky, because one, you go nose blind, you can like not distinguish which smell is which, you can hardly smell anything anymore. You can only really spray a couple of perfumes on your wrist so that you can test them, you know, throughout the day, how they wear on your skin. We all know that perfumes are so different on everybody's skin depending on our chemistry and what works for us and what doesn't. So it's very tricky to actually try more than a couple of perfumes at a time. And if you're like me, you want to try them all. I want to try every perfume going. So for me, this really appealed to me as an idea, as a way that I can try these incredibly expensive luxury perfumes without investing £300 sometimes blindly on a perfume I've never been able to smell, just based off a description, because we all know that doesn't always work out. So what you do is you go onto their website, you sign up, there's no obligation, you can just play around on their website. That's what I did when I was choosing what perfumes I wanted to try from them. I was on their website for hours, just browsing, just reading through. I took the perfume finder quiz where you can put in all of your loves and your preferences and a bit about you, and it will tell you what perfumes that you might want to try first. But I also just went through and just literally looked at every single perfume they had on there. I searched by the type of scent I like. I'm like Oriental perfume lover. I love vanilla scents, amber scents. I really like a tobacco note in my perfumes recently. That is like just something a bit different that I've been really loving. So you can search by anything that you want, and they have hundreds of perfumes on there. Gorgeous brands like Tom Ford, Frapin, they've got Parfums de Marley, just so many wonderful brands to try. So you can go through, read about them and add perfumes to your calendar. And if you sign up to the subscription, you pay your monthly fee. There's no obligation. You can end your contract at any time. You can just do 1 month. Then you can come back to it later if you want. You can continue your subscription for as long or as short a period of time as you want. And each month you will get the next perfume on your calendar. You can change the order if you want one quicker. If someone's birthday comes up and you're thinking you want to buy a perfume for somebody else, you can add one in. Say maybe if it was my husband's birthday coming up, I might choose to try a scent for him so I can know whether it's going to work for him or not, or whether I like it to buy for him. And you will get one of these little mini perfumes each month from your calendar, and they go in the order that you added them in there, unless you move them around. And this is what you will receive each month. So you'll get this gorgeous little pouch, very luxurious, perfect for popping in your handbag. And inside is an 8ml perfume, so a really decent size. These aren't like those little teeny samples. These are good perfumes. They contain 120 sprays, so will last you really a lot longer than a month. I usually use maybe 2 sprays, maybe 3 sprays, if I'm really going in, and so that's going to last you, you know, a solid month or more. And then you can decide if you want to buy the full size. They do have the full sizes on their website as well, so if you really love one, you can pick it up. But if, like me, you just want to keep trying new perfumes, each month you want a different one to try, keep mixing it up, then you just keep on choosing new ones. So on your first month, you will also receive one of these, which are their little travel cases. So you can pop your perfume in there and it's very easy, just slot it in and then you can twist it up or down and spray it as you like. Oh my goodness. On your first month, you will receive one of these, and then every 7th month, you'll get a new one, so then you can just mix and match your perfumes. Worldwide delivery, and they have given me a very generous 25% off their regular subscription for the first month for anyone who wants to give this a try. So it will be such a bargain just to try this out and see if it's for you or not. So I'm going to talk you through the 6 perfumes that I was allowed to try from them as part of our collaboration, and this was heaven for me, as you can imagine. This is like all my dreams come true. I literally spent probably 3 or 4 hours one evening just going through every perfume they had on their website, trying desperately to choose which ones I just couldn't not try. I just was so excited. So I'm gonna go from like the ones that didn't rock my world up to my ultimate favorites. And let me tell you, this was so helpful for me because I really got to try some that, one, I would never be able to try in real life because they just are not available to try anywhere near me. And 2, because I really got to try perfumes that are really outside of my comfort zones, perfumes that I would just never normally go for because it's so much less of an investment. To try them for a whole month is just such an easy, you know, step to take, as opposed to forking out hundreds of pounds and maybe making a mistake. So first up is this perfume from Profumi del Forte. I've never tried anything from them before, and please bear with me while I completely destroy any of the languages that we are about to speak about. I'm very, very sorry. I'm English and I don't have as gorgeous an accent as the French and Italians do, so I'm really sorry that I'm about to butcher these languages. So this is Versilia Aurum. I hope that is right. This is my least favourite of the 6 that I tried because this is very different for me. I just wanted to try something different. As I said at the beginning, I'm a sort of oriental, sexy, little bit of a gourmand fan. I love sweet, really spicy, strong. A lot of the fragrances I prefer are quite masculine or certainly unisex fragrances. So this for me is a very feminine floral scent, which is way out of my comfort zone. I'm really glad I tried it, and don't get me wrong, it's not a bad scent at all. It is a beautiful floral scent. It's just not my typical choice for a style of perfume, but I can absolutely appreciate it. And this is a perfect, very wearable scent. So if I was going into the office, I would absolutely put this on. If I'm going to something like a soft play where there's lots of people around, I don't want to be invading someone's space with a very strong, pungent, you know, love it or hate it fragrance. This is such an easy, wearable perfume. I was going to say foundation because that's what I'm usually talking about, but fragrance. This is very light, very fruity floral, very easy to wear, very long wearing on me. You know, a good 8 hours I could still smell this. Really beautiful, but not my preferred type of fragrance, which is why it's number 6 on my list. Next up, from Parfums de Marley, the incredibly popular and well-loved Delina, something that I have wanted to smell for such a long time, and it did not disappoint. It is, oh, it is such a beautiful feminine fragrance. Again, it seems like it's quite low on my list at number 5, but honestly, I loved all of these. None of these were unlikable, unwearable fragrances for me. I loved every single one of them. So it was very hard to put them in order. But Delina, again, for me, it's just not my preference for a fragrance. It's very feminine, very girly, very strong rose on me. Not everybody is the same, but this for me, it was a very strong rose note, and that's pretty much what it smelled like. A slightly sweet, maybe a slightly gourmand note to it, but it was very, very heavily rose. So again, that very floral, very feminine scent. Fairly long wearing, I could still smell it on me as a skin scent at the end of the day. But it is beautiful, and if you just want to be, you know, the ultimate feminine, sweet, rose, floral goddess, then this is going to be absolutely up your street. For me, I like my scents, like I said, a little bit more unusual, a bit more of a sort of mysterious spice to them. So for me, that wasn't strange enough of a scent to be higher up my list, if that makes sense, but still a very lovely scent. I can absolutely understand why it's so popular. So now from one end of the spectrum to the other, this is Frapin's Speakeasy perfume. Oh my goodness, when I was desperate. This was the first one I wanted to smell. When these arrived, I was so excited to smell them all and just get them all on, but I didn't want to spray 6 all over me and not be able to tell which was which and get my nose confused. But this was the first one I had to smell because the description just had me. You know, when you read a description of a perfume and you're like, oh, it just takes you somewhere, it gives you memories, it makes you imagine, you know, a dark, jazzy club or something like that. The first waft of this, when you first spray it, oh, it is just immediately so interesting. It's like nothing I've ever really smelled. It just gives me all kinds of feels. It's very masculine, very spicy. It wears so long. The only reason this is like number 4, I mean, the next 3 are just absolute love adores for me, and this one, I love it. But the very base notes of to me, it smells of pure musk in the base notes, and it loses a bit of that mystique and that mysterious and that real unique scent that it starts off with, and it travels through in the middle at the end. And that for me is, I really prioritize my base notes, because that's what, you know, you wear, that's what you can smell for the rest of the day once it's all dried down. And for me, that was a little more simple and not as exciting and interesting for me. So oh, but the opening notes and the middle notes are just absolutely heavenly and just so interesting and like nothing else I've ever smelled. So number 3, and let me tell you, it's so hard for me to tell, like to differentiate these top 3. I love them all. I would purchase them all. I absolutely adore them all for very different reasons. It's almost impossible for me to put them in any kind of order. So, you know, take these 3 with a pinch of salt. I love them all equally. So number 3 is Montale. This is the scent Intense Cafe. Oh my goodness. This was the second one I tried after Speakeasy because it was just so interesting. It has a really, as you can imagine from the name, a very strong coffee note in there, but it's like the most gorgeous vanilla coffee you've ever smelled. It just smells like you're in the most luxurious, heavenly cafe you can imagine. It's very long wearing, probably one of the most long wearing of all of these that I tried, and all of them had great longevity, as you would expect from really luxurious perfumes. This one in particular, I woke up the next day, I could still smell it on me, more so than any of the others. And just when first spray, you're like, oh, just gorgeous, and it just stays beautiful and intoxicating all day long. Very sensuous, very sexy, but in a very sweet, wearable way. You could still easily wear this all day, evening, any occasion it would still work for. This one I sprayed on when I went to visit my parents, and my mum was like, oh, what are you wearing? What perfume are you wearing? This is a real compliment bomb. Not really going to offend anyone unless they really hate coffee. Now, number 2, again, this was extremely hard to choose between these 2. So number 2 is Welton's Secret Amber. Oh my goodness, such a sexy sexy fragrance. It's sexy and feminine, but it just has a hint of something a bit different. That amber base, just a gorgeous oriental fragrance. It really lights your senses and it makes you think, what is that? You know, you get so many different notes at the same time, but they're just so well blended, and it really is really intriguing. It's one that you're going to get a lot of questions about. You know, people are going to say, oh, what are you wearing? Because it's different, but in a very, very easy, lovable way. No one's going to be offended by this scent, but it's going to be intriguing to lots of people because it just has enough of a something that is a little different to your average perfume, but it still stays sweet and soft and wearable. Definitely wearable to the office, definitely could be a daytime or an evening scent. It's nothing that's going to offend or be too much for anybody. Not going to be too weird or too crazy or too bonkers or too smoky. It's just enough of all of those things. And finally, number one, that I am head over heels for this fragrance. And this is Initio's Absolute Aphrodisiac. And if you thought the name was going to tell you what this smells like, you are absolutely correct. This is the sexiest fragrance I've ever smell. I was really drawn to this fragrance because of the name. It just had me interested because I'm always looking for sexy fragrances. That's how I want to smell. I want to smell sexy, strong, confident, all of those things. And this name really spoke to me that it was going to be all of those things, and it really is. Again, when you first spray it, it immediately hooks you in. You have to you cannot stop smelling your wrist. That's what this is like all day long. It's just always just changing into something even more and more beautiful. Incredibly long wearing. It's got great sillage or sillage, as the French would much more beautifully pronounce it. It really does, when you walk in, you know, people can smell it around you. It's got fantastic projection, I guess, of the perfume, of the scent. It's not a skin scent. You can smell it in the room that you leave. It's just all around you, but it's not in a really overwhelming, overbearing way. It's just, you just get wafts of it throughout the day, and throughout the day it goes a little sweeter, a little sexier. You get that gorgeous vanilla amber mix coming through, and it's also got leather in there, which just, with those other notes combined, it's just like that hint of mystery to it, that hint of masculinity, but stays sweet enough for it to still be a just gorgeously sexy feminine fragrance as well. It's everything I look for in a perfume. It's beautiful, it's intriguing, it's sexy, it's sensual. It's got a hint of, you just can't quite place it. You know, you can't quite tell what all of the notes are, but you keep on wanting to smell your wrist and try and figure it all out. It is just like a journey, this perfume. I'm absolutely addicted to it. So those are the 6 perfumes that I chose from their website, and let me tell you, I am spoiled. I'm gonna smell like an absolute dream for the next 6 months at least. So I will of course link UNIQUE's website down below. I will have my discount code down there for anyone who wants to utilize that. It's not an affiliate code. I'm not going to earn any commission off of the code. It's just for you to get some money off. I will also list all of these perfumes and their notes in the description box. So if you want to find out more about specifically the perfumes that I chose, you can absolutely do that. But otherwise, I just really recommend going to their website and just having a play. You can sign up without having to pay anything. You don't have to put any of your details in there, you know, just the usual username, password and your email address, and you can look at all the perfumes on there, see if there's lots on there that you would like to try, you know, add them to your calendar so you can read information about it, and then you can decide if you really want to start receiving the perfumes and when. It's just such a great idea for people like myself who have young children, who can't always go and shop for hours and spray hundreds of perfumes, who don't have easy access to lots and lots of luxury stores where you can go and physically see and try these perfumes. It's a great way, an affordable way to try some really luxurious gorgeous, more niche brands and just treat yourself without having to spend the whole full amount for the perfume, without really knowing if it's going to be for you or not. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please let me know down below. If you've tried YUNIQU, let us all know how you got on, and we would love to know your perfume recommendations for us to try in the comments down below based on what you now know I love and adore of my fragrances. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Take care for now. Bye 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 bye.